Hey, welcome to the Nursing Dose with your host, Nurse Farah, aka Dr. Farah Laurent. Right? Today, I want to be talking about 5 mistakes to avoid before starting a business as a nurse. Okay. And this can be for, any nurse at any point. And really, these tips are applicable to anyone who's thinking about starting a business, whether it's a side hustle, whatever it is, these are applicable to you. Okay. So I'm going to keep it very high level, very simple. And for those who don't know me, and maybe you're just watching and tuning in for the first time to the Nursing Dose, my name is Farah. I've been a nurse for over 20 years. I've been featured in multiple media, such as The Jennifer Hudson Show, Black Enterprise, and Sigma International, many other mediums and podcasts for the work that I do as a nurse career coach. I help new graduate nurses land their dream role and make 6 figures, right? I help nurses make money moves and I help nurses make business moves. So that's one target audience that I have. And the other side is I also help new nurse entrepreneurs really get their brand started, help them be more visible, and really get their businesses going. Okay. So also, I am the host of Nurses Making Business Moves, a conference that's going to be happening this upcoming March 2026 in Tampa, Florida. And it's going to be not just for nurses, anybody that is interested in business and wants to grow their business or start a business, this conference is for you. I happen to be a nurse, so I called it Nurses Making Money Moves actually the first time, and now I switched it to Nurses Making Business Moves. So really, what will you learn at this conference? Literally all things business, marketing, sales, um, all the tools and strategies that you need to not only start a business, but to also grow a business. But you're not just going to just get information, frameworks, and strategies. You are going to be in a room of powerful entrepreneurs. So that proximity to those successful powerhouse entrepreneurs where you can ask questions, you can interact, and essentially even become either partners or build relationships and become friends, right? And that's what happened just this past March when I held that first conference. So today, I want to be talking, I want to talk about 5 tips that I have. And really, it's, I think, 5 of the biggest mistakes that most nurses make as they're thinking about starting their business, and it actually holds them back. If you are watching this, let me know. If you have any comments or questions, drop them in the chat. I'll be happy to answer, especially those that'll be watching the replay. If you happen to be watching this and it's the replay, still drop your comments or questions, and I will go back and do my best to answer every comment that you leave. All right, so who's ready to get into it? Let's get into it. So first of all, I just want to preface this with, most nurses, I would say, are probably starting these types of businesses, service-based businesses, right? Which really is easy to do. So such as coaching. So I'm a nurse career coach. So you can be a coach. A lot of nurses are also becoming life coaches or health coaches, a variation of some type of coach, right? I want to also let you know you don't need a specific certification to do coaching. A lot of people will tell you that you need this certification to be a coach or whatever. You don't necessarily need one to start a business, okay? Consulting, that's another big area that a lot of nurses are getting into. So that's another idea. And then you can also have a, let's say, tutoring business. A lot of people are doing like NCLEX tutoring, education tutoring for nursing students. People that are in academia are doing education consults, like doing curriculum, simulation, those types of things. So there is so much that nurses are doing. Also, a lot of nurse practitioners are starting telehealth practices. private practices, med spas, a lot of different things. But let me just keep it simple with these 5 tips to avoid if you want to start a business. Okay. Number 1, I will say the biggest mistake is clarity, right? The lack of clarity. A lot of people think, well, I have this business idea and, you know, I'm just going to take it out there and go with it, right? But it's not clear. If you are not clear about what your business idea is, what your business plan is, and how you're going to execute, and really simply the question that you want to answer is, what is the problem that I'm solving and what solution am I bringing to this problem? And the most important thing, are people willing to pay you for this problem? How big is this issue that you are going to solve? What is your business going to solve? Essentially, that is the biggest thing, because if you can't answer that question and you can't articulate in words what your business is doing, it's going to be very hard for you to get clients. Because if you're not clear on what you do, what your business does, the problem that it solves, it's going to be very hard to get clients if you can't articulate that. Okay. So, that's one thing that I actually taught quite a bit in my business mastermind. I held a couple of business masterminds earlier in the year in Clearwater Beach. And it was a weekend where we literally broke down people's ideas, the business plan, their offer, how to present, how to articulate their unique selling proposition, and really what's different about their business, right? So I would say the biggest mistake is when people start, they're not really clear on their idea. They're not really clear on the business plan. So that's what I would say is find clarity around that. Okay. Which brings me to my second mistake that most people do is don't do any market research. Okay. Now, what does that mean? It's just kind of a fancy way to say, is there an actual problem in the marketplace, right? Is there a gap that you are solving with your business? So let me give you an example. If you wanted to say, well, I'm gonna start a newspaper company, probably not a good idea, right? Because nobody really reads newspapers anymore. Like, yes, there probably are a select few people that do, but that is not a good idea because it's kind of old school. There's no real use for it these days. And things have changed, times have changed. So you really need to research the market, right? So for me, to give you an example, when I first started, this was about 4 years ago, I was thinking, nursing school doesn't really teach us how to market and promote ourselves when we graduate. Yes, some schools might have some, workshops on interview or resume prep, but the people that are actually doing it are not nurses, right? And the way that they're doing it, they're not really helping the new nurses get to where they want to be. So I saw a gap in the marketplace and I was like, you know what? I need to help these new graduate nurses get to where they want to be. And there's nothing really out there like this. So what did I start doing? I started researching, what is out there in the marketplace for new nurses in terms of interview preparation, career guidance. And then I started actually asking them. I started having calls with nursing students, new graduate nurses, and I'm like, hey, would you potentially, if I had this nurse career coach business, would you invest if I could help you with your resume, your cover letter, guide you to how to interview, guide you with interview tips, and tell you the real behind the scenes things that you should really be doing? from a nursing perspective? Would that be valuable to you? Would you pay for that? And so many of them said yes. They're like, absolutely. They're like, do you provide that now? So I spoke to at least, I would say, like 50 nurses, right? And, you can do surveys, you can do polls, and it depends what type of business you want to have. Is it going to be something that's local, like a local business, or is it going to be international? Is it going to be remote? How are you going to be delivering the service or product? These are all things that you need to research. And then you also need to research the costs, right? What is it going to actually cost you to deliver this product or service? And that's why I think if you do want to start a business as a nurse, one of the easiest businesses that you can start is a service-based business, such as my nurse career coaching business or consulting, because you really don't need much money to start. You really just need to register your business, get an EIN number, do a couple other things, and that's not a lot of money, right? You can literally just start your business from there. But if you're going to go the other route and do like a product-based business, then you need to know, like, how much does it cost for me to make this candle? How much does it cost for me to ship out this candle when people buy it? What's the process going to look like? Those types of things. So you really need to do the math, the behind the scenes work before you actually do it, because you want to think, like, is this going to be profitable and will people buy it? Right? So that's the market research piece that most people don't do before they start the business, right? Or they're like, you know what? I'm going to just create this thing or create this course, right, for such and such, but they don't do the research. And then they spend years or months doing this course, and then they put it out. Nobody knows about it, number one, and nobody actually asked for it. So you have trouble selling it, right? So that brings me to number 3. A big mistake that you can make is not knowing who your target audience is, like who are your potential customers, and also not asking them the questions and not listening to your audience for feedback. Huge mistake that people do when they first start their business off. And a lot of these things I've myself have made mistakes along the way. And that's why I'm sharing this with you. And if you happen to just be dropping by, what I'm talking about is nurses making business moves, right? But particularly, what are the 5 top mistakes that you want to avoid if you are thinking about starting a business as a nurse, whether it's a side hustle, whether it's like a product you want to start selling, or a service-based business, like let's say coaching or consulting or whatever business you want to do. Okay. If you missed it, number 1 was most people lack clarity on their business idea. They don't have a real clean business plan, and you don't need a massive business plan. You can literally go to the Small Business Administration. They have guidance on how to create a lean business plan. So check that out. Number 2 is most people don't do their market research, right? So you need to do the research to say, hey, is this business actually needed? Does it solve a problem in the marketplace? How big is this problem? And are people willing to pay me money for my solution, whether it's a product or service, right? So you need to do that, and you need to do some math to be like, hey, is this business going to be profitable? All right. And then number 3, listen to your audience, right? Listen to your potential clients and talk to them. And you need to know who your potential clients are. For me, it's clear. When I started, it was new graduate nurses. And I knew my target audience were senior graduates that are about to graduate nursing school, and any nurse that literally graduated and was looking for a job, but not just any job, looking for a specialty position like in the ICU, the ED, NICU, all these things, right? Because traditionally, nursing always tells new nurses that they have to start in med surg And that happened to me and I didn't listen and I became an ER nurse. And that's literally what I became, a nurse career coach to help my younger self. And that's what most people will start their business doing. They typically will pick something that they had to overcome, um, and develop frameworks and strategies around it, especially for coaching type or consulting businesses, right? So you need to do the research, you need to talk to your potential audience. Okay. And if you want to learn more, right, about how to potentially start your business, is it a good idea? You want to learn more about business basics, then you need to be at the Nurses Making Business Moves conference. Hence, I am the host, right? And it's happening in Tampa, Florida, March 6th and 7th. If you haven't gotten your tickets, please get your ticket. I will drop the link below later for you to get your tickets. And for you guys on TikTok, if you are interested in business and you are a nurse, or you don't even have to be a nurse, anyone that's business minded and you're like, you know what, I want a place that's going to give me real information, real feedback, no BS, no fluff, no gatekeeping, this is the place for you. So come to Tampa, March 6th and 7th, 2026. I'm going to have speakers that are nurses and non-nurses that are in the business sector, right? Like marketing, social media content creation, absolute powerhouse speakers. And to get your ticket, you can go to nursefarah.com. That's my website. And if you go under services, you'll see events, and that's where you can get your ticket. Okay. So, and I'll drop the link too for everybody else that's watching. And you can just message me if you're not sure where to find it, and I'll give you the link so you can get your ticket. All right. So number 4, this is a big one. If you're thinking about starting a business, or you're a new entrepreneur or a new business owner, right, and you're still building, the biggest mistake that you can make is build in secret. Okay. A lot of people think that, oh, I can't tell anybody about this business idea. I'm going to keep it to myself. Oh, I'm working on the website. I'm working on this. I'm working on that. I can't tell anybody yet. Or, they're working on a book and they don't tell anybody about the book until the book gets published. That is the worst thing you can do, is build in secret. Why are you keeping this a secret? People need to know what you are building so that they could support you. People want to see the behind the scenes, right? BTS on all these platforms, right? People love the BTS, the behind the scenes. They want to know what you are building because they want to be a part of the journey. So why not share the process? So for me, I've been going live for the last 4 years on these multiple platforms. I'm new to TikTok. I've been only doing TikTok for, I'd say, like 2 months or so. And I love live streaming. I love going live because this is the best way to talk to the audience, right? To interact with everybody. And it's the closest thing to being in person, right? So along these 4 years, I've taken everybody that's been following me on a journey, right? How I started my business as a nurse career coach, the ups, the downs, the failures, building my side hustle while still working full time and having 2 kids, going to school to get a doctorate, right? All the real things that business owners have to face, and thinking about, when am I going to fully transition to become a full-time entrepreneur, or like, how long do I keep my full-time position? All those things you need to start discussing, on social media, in person, at events. Stop building in secret. Okay. If no one knows who you are, no one knows about your product or service, how are they going to support you or do business with you? They're not going to know. So you need to stop building in secret. Okay. And tell the people what it is that you're doing so that you can give feedback from people. People, it's actually very interesting. one thing that I found in business, sometimes it's best if you don't ask your immediate family or friends about their opinions. Don't do that, because most people are just negative in general, and they might come from a good place, but they're going to tell you the wrong thing. So what I would say is, like, go to experts. Like, so for me, as a business coach and as a nurse career coach, I myself have coaches so that I can constantly improve my coaching and all that. But I've had a lot of mentors, I've had business coaches, and I invest a lot in my back of my business and in my coaching, like for myself, for my own professional development, right? You need to do the same. If you think that you're going to build in secret and build your business by yourself, good luck. You could probably do it for a short amount of time because, it's normal as a solopreneur. You're doing it by yourself in the beginning, but eventually you need people to support you. You need to be in community. You need to be with other entrepreneurs to learn from them. And this is the space that I've built with the Nurses Business Making. I can't even say it anymore. Nurses Making Business Moves Conference, right? It's a space where not only nurses come, but other entrepreneurs come so that we can all learn from each other in community. And we can support each other's businesses, celebrate wins, give each other advice, become each other's clients, whatever the thing is, right? You need to build in community. And that's why it's so important to join business masterminds, coaching programs, you know. Oh yeah, shameless plug. I am I am starting a business accelerator for nurses who are interested in business. So if you're interested to join that, definitely message me to find out more information. It's going to be a 3-month coaching program that'll lead into the conference. Okay, so if you're interested in getting some coaching in a group setting from yours truly, from me, message me, because once the slots get taken up, that's it. Because I want to keep it a tight group so that we can really get transformational results for everybody, right? So yeah, do not build in secret. That's one of the biggest mistakes that you can make if you're trying to start a side hustle. And I know I've had multiple conversations with nurses trying to start their businesses, but they're afraid. They're afraid of their current employer and what they might think. They're afraid to show up online to promote and market their businesses. In fact, I've heard stories where some employers have actually mentioned something to the employee, even though they were transparent and there's no conflict of interest. And what I say to you is, nothing is guaranteed and no job is guaranteed. They can literally let you go in the matter of a minute. So you have to make a choice. Either you build your own business, go all in, bet on yourself, and build something that can be sustainable, that you can control, right? To a certain extent, like you manage your business and control. You can have multiple streams of income. You make the decisions. You're the boss, right? Or you're like, no, I can't do that. It's too risky. But is it really risky? Would you rather go to a 9 to 5 where they're trying to control you and trying to tell you what you can and can't do? And I'm not saying all employers are like that, because a lot of employers know that some employees are consultants or speakers or whatever the case is, right? But just think about that. Okay, because I've been laid off 3 times in the last 5 years, despite having a doctorate, a master's, right? Multiple degrees and certifications. So it doesn't matter. You see what's going on in the job market, the government shutdowns and all of the things. So why not, right? Why not start a side hustle and start your business so that you can actually count on yourself to generate your own income whenever you want? Okay. This is probably more of a reason to start a business now than any time before. And I'm not saying it's for everyone, but if you were a go getter, you don't really like too many rules, you want to be creative, you want to set your own schedule, you want to be flexible. And of course, it's a lot of time to be a nurse entrepreneur or an entrepreneur. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of, especially when you're first starting out, you need to put in a lot of time in the beginning. But you set the rules, right? Especially the first, I would say, 2 to 5 years is when you're really grinding to get this business going. But you have the creativity and the decision making to do what it is that you want, and it's not that difficult if you just simplify everything, right? So again, do not build in secret. You need to be visible. You need to talk to people and tell them about your business. In business, we talk about the know, like, and trust factor. People need to know you to be able to decide, like, hey, I like this person. I'd like to rock with them. I want to follow them. I want to support them. And people, you're not for everybody. And your business, like your product or service, is not for everyone. That's the other mistake. People think that they want to serve everyone. Like when I first started, I'm like, well, I'm just going to serve all the nurses. But then I was like, you know what? The people that are coming to me the most seem to be the new graduate nurse. So I'm just going to focus more of my efforts on the new graduate nurse. When I did that, my messaging was so clear. Everything became so much more clear. And now I am known as the go-to expert for the new graduate nurse. So don't try to do too many things and have too many offers for too many people, because it gets confusing. It needs to be simple and it needs to be clear. And I don't know if you've heard this term before, but many people have said it: simple scales. The more simple and clear you are about your business, people will know, hey, this person solves this problem. So for me, they're like, hey, Farah, she's a nurse career coach. She's the go-to nurse career coach for new graduate nurses. If you're struggling to get interviews, you're struggling to land a position, and you've been doing it on your own for months and months, she has a proven method and a proven framework, and she's helped over 200 nurses get there. Go see Farah. Like, that's it. Clear, simple, and that's what it is. Okay. So don't try to do too many things at once. Eventually, this brings me to number 5, right? Number 5 mistake that you can make while you're trying to start your business. Most people don't build a brand. They think, oh, well, I need my website up and I need everything perfect and in order. And it's never going to be perfect, right? Done is better than perfect. Most people overthink for years and years and do nothing and take no action, right? So stop. You need to build a brand, a personal brand, before you start a business. How do you build a brand? Again, being visible online and in person, talking to people about your business, building relationships, creating a buzz around what it is that you're doing, sharing your values, the impact, the results, bringing the receipts out, all the things, being on podcasts to talk about what it is that you're doing, who you are, what you represent, and what impact you want to make. Okay. So for me, people know me as, I'm a bold nurse that wants to empower other nurses to step into their boldness and to literally realize that nurses can do anything that they want to do and that they're unstoppable. That is part of my brand. I'm all about hyping up nurses, empowering them to do what it is that they want, whether it's going for that, promotion, getting into that specialty area, or starting a business. You can do it all. And that is part of my brand. Okay. So I'm changing the narrative in nursing to normalize talking about money, right? I wrote a book, Nurses Making Money Moves. I'm talking about nurses in business, right? So I'm shifting the narrative. I'm disrupting a lot of the old traditional ways of thinking in nursing. That's all part of my brand, right? So you need to build a brand before you start a business. Okay. And literally, it's just you managing your reputation and managing the perception of how people see you. And if people don't know about what you do, they'll just make things up. Okay. So I choose to show up consistently. So I've been showing up consistently for the last 4 years, talking about how I've been a nurse career coach, talking about my failures, ups and downs, how I've been laid off, how I bounced back, all the things, right? And that's how I've built my brand over the last 4 years. The very first conference that I had just this past March, people were telling me that it was impossible, that I could not put on a nursing conference in less than a year. And I was like, okay, cool, watch me. In literally less than 3 months, I was able to take action literally within 5 days of me making the decision that I'm going to do this conference in less than 3 months. Within 10 days, I had all the speakers booked, I had the venue booked, and I started selling tickets because I am relentless and ruthless when it comes to an idea that I have. And if I have that much conviction and belief, I'm going to make it happen. And that's the type of conviction that you need in entrepreneurship and in your business for you to succeed, right? So, this is what I want for you as nurses, to believe in yourself, believe in your ideas, and start building that brand, not in secret, but in front of others in public. Share your ideas and take action. Invest in yourself, bet in yourself, right? There's so much fear being built right now all over, right, in the world. It's like very shaky times, but I always choose to be grounded in faith and in hope, and to know that you can make a difference in your own way, to make an impact, to really dig down to your values and show up for other people, be of service. So for me, it's creating content, it's bringing hope and inspiring other nurses to know that they can do what it is they want to do. You don't have to feel that you're stuck. You can take action. You can make things happen. Literally, you can make things happen. If I was able, with no event experience, in less than 3 months, put on a conference that most people take a year to do, like, you could do anything, right? And it's because I've built this brand, because I've been showing up literally every week for 4 years, giving value, talking about my experiences, giving tips, such as I'm doing now, going live, right? So again, if you just missed it and you're showing up and you're like, what is she talking about? What's this rant she's on? I'm talking about the 5 mistakes to avoid before starting a business as a nurse, right? So if you want to start a coaching business, a consulting business, a product, whatever idea you have, I dropped 5 things to avoid. Number 1 was to avoid the lack of clarity and really get clear on your business idea. Number 2 was to, most people don't do market research, but you need to do some research before you start your business to make sure that, number 1, it's something that's needed in the marketplace. People will actually buy from you, and that it will be a profitable business. Number 3, most people don't know who their target audience is, and they don't listen to their audience. So as you're building your business, you need to listen to your audience and to your potential clients and what they're telling you, so that you can mold it the right way, because you're serving them. They're the ones that are going to be buying from you, right? And then number 4, stop building in secret. So many people think, like, even me, when I started as a nurse career coach, I was like, "Ooh, I didn't tell anybody, but I'm going to tell you, like, what do you think about this?" And then I was like, that sounds so silly. So I just started telling everybody. I'm like, listen, I'm starting this nurse career coach business, and that's what I'm doing. And people are like, "Oh, aren't you afraid of what your employer are going to think, or what's this person going to think?" I was like, no, it's happening. That's it, right? Because when you get out of your head, stop overthinking, and once you realize your assignment, because to me, I'm like, this is bigger than just me. Once you realize the impact you want to make, it doesn't matter anymore. You don't care what people think because not everybody's for you. You don't think, oh, I don't want to show up on social because I'm going to look weird, or this is not, my hair is not done, or my makeup is not done. The assignment is bigger than you. So once you fall into place and you're like, you know what, this is the idea, it's going to help people, it's going to serve a need in the marketplace, I'm going all in. I'm going in. I'm going in. Okay, don't get me started. I'm always breaking out into song, right? Once you decide to go all in, that's it. You got to bet on yourself, right? And let people in. I'm not saying like tell people, you know, all of your business or like personal things, or like you don't have to share stuff about your family if you don't want to, but let people in to see you, be visible, be on social media, go to networking events, build relationships. That's how you're going to start building a brand, and how people are going to know about you, what you do, your business, what impact you want to make, the values. And then you're going to have some ride or dies. Like people that want to ride with you will ride with you and support you. And they'll be your tribe. Like that's just what it is. And that's how you start building a brand. And this is a whole movement that I've started, the Nurses Making Money Moves Conference and the Nurses Making Business Moves Conference, right? I switched the name, but anyways, that's a movement that I'm starting because I want nurses to feel empowered to start businesses and not feel shameful about it, and not feel shame talking about money and wanting to build a business. Nothing wrong with that. Okay. I mean, for real, like the Department of I'm not even going to go there, but the Department of Education is saying that they deem that nursing is not a profession. Like, are you kidding me? Like, what's going on here? Okay. Don't even get me started. Right. And then number 5 is most people don't build a brand. They think that like, hey, let me get this business going and then I'll build a brand. And it's like, no. You got to build a brand before, because people don't know about you. How are they going to know about your services, your business? How are they going to support you? So you need to literally be in people's face, like all the time, every day, in person, online. And I'm not saying that that's like the only way to build brand, but it's a big way in today's world, is to be present on social media and to be present at events. Okay. So that wraps it up. I've talked for quite a bit now. And let me know if you guys have any questions in the chat. Drop them in the chat. Any comments or questions about business, particularly if you are a nurse that has been thinking about starting a consulting business, a coaching business, whatever you're thinking, drop it in the chat. And then let me know who's coming to Tampa to join me and all the other fabulous entrepreneurs to talk about business and to talk about how to grow in business, how to make that money, how to build wealth and build a sustainable business. Let me know who's coming to Tampa, March 6th and 7th. It's going down. It's not your typical boring nursing conference. Like, it's going to be lit. And the people that know, the ones that came in March, they know, right? It's a whole experience. It's a vibe, because I truly believe one of my values is education should be fun. Events should be fun. Anything that I do, if there's no fun in it, like I don't even want to be a part of it. So, I have a whole experience. I have a DJ Riri was there last time. Putting on the music and creating the vibes. And it's just going to be a good time. The Friday, March 6th, is going to be a networking soiree, more so for all of the attendees and speakers to get to know each other, have time to build relationships, ask questions, whatever it is. It's going to be 4 hours of that from 5 to 9. And it's going to happen at the University of Tampa. How cool. It's going to be in the entrepreneurship building, right? So shout out to University of Tampa Business Center, Entrepreneurship Center. And what else did I want to say? Yeah, so that's the Friday night. And then Saturday will be an all day, full day, packed, jammed, full day conference. And we're going to be ending it with the pitch competition. So, you guys, I'm so excited about this pitch competition. More details to come. Right now, someone is helping me build out the landing page so that you guys can see, some photos and videos of last conference that I had this March. Um, and you can see, everything will be in one place. So you'll see the speakers, a little bit of their bios, some photos from last time, and actually some testimonial videos of attendees that went last time. So you don't want to miss this conference. Literally 100% these tickets will be sold out. Also, if you want to become a sponsor, you can be a sponsor, and there's multiple levels of sponsorship. So this is your opportunity to get in front of entrepreneurs that are coming really from all over, from Canada, from the UK, Australia, and all over the US. Okay. And the majority of the attendees will be nurses. However, there are other people that will attend. You don't have to be a nurse to attend. All are welcome. Even students, whether you're marketing, a business student, nursing student, any student, whatever, if you are interested in business, this conference is for you. So, like I said, I am accepting sponsors. I do have some exhibitor tables left. So, if you want to be an exhibitor and have your table, maybe you're selling clothing or jewelry, or you have a service or product that you want to put in front of this audience, definitely contact me because there are only a couple of tables left. And again, where is this happening? In Tampa, Florida. Super easy to get to. I think it was rated like one of the best airports. Honestly, it's so organized and it's quick. You can get to the venue within 10 minutes, from the airport. And if you're from the Florida area, you could just drive to Tampa. But last time there were over 20 different states represented, and a lot of people came from Canada as well. So I'm so excited. I can't wait to see you all. If you want to get your tickets, message me if you're on TikTok, or just go to, you can follow me on LinkedIn, Dr. Farah Laurent. I'll have the link directly there under this live, the replay, so you can just purchase your ticket there. Or you can go to my website, which is nursefarah.com. If you go under services, you'll see events, click it, and then you'll get you'll be able to get your ticket there. And look out for more lives from me, because you're going to be seeing me like probably almost every day talking about this conference, literally till the end of the year, until these tickets sell out. And I just had one of the speakers yesterday on live. And I believe on Monday, I will have another speaker, but we're talking about a different topic in business, highlighting them and highlighting the conference. So super excited for that. So if you are not following me, make sure that you follow me, subscribe on YouTube, hit the bell on LinkedIn, save my content on TikTok, whatever y'all got to do. There's that little fan club on TikTok. It's like a heart. Hit that. And I think once I go live, you'll get notified each time I go live. And that is pretty much it. So if I don't really see any questions in the comments section, let me know. TikTok also, if you guys have any questions or comments about business, especially if you're an aspiring nurse entrepreneur, or maybe you are a nurse entrepreneur and you're struggling to, like, let's say, get clients, struggling to create content or go live, put any comments or questions that you have in there for me. And thank you all for watching as I wrap this up, because I know I said a lot. I talk a lot. So yeah, like I said, if you're just joining and you missed everything I said, make sure to watch the replay. I basically broke down top 5 mistakes to avoid before you start a business, especially if you're trying to start a side hustle as a as a nurse, and a couple tips, sprinkled, and I dropped a lot of gems throughout. So definitely check that out and come to the conference, Nurses Making Business Moves. It's going to be held in person, Tampa, Florida, at the University of Tampa Entrepreneurship Building, March 6th and 7th. So mark your calendars, save the date, get your ticket, tell a friend, bring a friend. It's going down. Nurses Making Money Moves. We're going to learn how to make those money moves and those business moves. Again, it's a Friday, Saturday, March 6th and 7th. Once the tickets sell out, that's it, because it's international. I'm telling you, there's people coming all the way from Australia, from the UK, Canada, and all over the US. And you can be a sponsor if you want to sponsor the event. There's also an opportunity for you to speak in one of the sponsorship packages. So definitely message me for all that information. Get your ticket today. Don't mess around. And that's it for me. So thank you again for watching. You will definitely see more of me throughout the weeks to come. You'll see more speakers that I'm interviewing, and we'll talk more about the conference as these weeks unfold, and more information about the pitch competition. So stay tuned. I will also have an actual landing page that'll be ready very soon, potentially today or sometime the latest by this Monday, the 17th, okay? I will also be probably going live Monday, the 17th at 12 noon, so look out for that. And that's it. Let's make these money moves and these business moves. Let's get it. All right. Talk to you soon.